Good evening, sci-fi movie nerds, and welcome to another episode of the Sci-Fi Movie Guy. This is weekly show number 29, and my name is Mike. And holy crap, do we have a lot of news today. And we're going to start out as we always do with Star Wars news. And our first story, you guessed it, Rogue One, a Star Wars story, just keeps giving us more and more with less than a week before it comes out in theaters. In a new TV spot, if you freeze frame one of the space battle scenes, we see what looks like the Ghost, Hera's ship from Star Wars Rebels, which is making me even more excited for this movie. In the IMAX TV trailer, we get some new shots of the Death Star being fired and some really great shots of the cast that have never been seen before, including what looks like the city of Jeddah being destroyed and Krennic looking on saying how beautiful it is. This is going to be a villain that I am going to love to hate for a very long time. Now, I've said it before, we are less than a week away from this movie. I don't want any more clips. I'm getting way too much story. I'm getting way too many things, way too many TV spots, way too many trailers. Please stop, Lucasfilm. I just want to go see this movie. I'm going to see it in 6 days. You're going to be watching the show Saturday morning. I'm taping it Friday night, and the media are going to see it on Saturday. So next week, I'm sure Wednesday or Thursday, there's going to be non-spoiler reviews, spoiler reviews coming out, and I have to avoid watching them all until I get to see the movie on Thursday. Then, as soon as I see the movie on Thursday, me and Jason from Trench Run Rebels are going to come back here. We're going to do our spoilers and non-spoilers review, so we'll do two separate shows. We'll put up the non-spoiler review right away for Rogue One, and then later on the weekend I'll put up the spoilers review so you guys can watch it, see what you think. If you haven't watched it yet, we put up last week A Road to Rogue One, a Star Wars story. So you should really go on my channel, check that out. It pretty much breaks down the book Catalyst and gives you exactly what you need to know going into Rogue One. And we also gave some of our predictions for Rogue One movie. So go back, check that out. I am so excited to see Rogue One, it's not even funny. So our next story in Star Wars news, more Rogue One stuff, surprise, surprise. Entertainment Weekly has an exclusive first listen of the Rogue One music composed by Michael Giacchino. In a 2-minute video, you can see director Gareth Edwards speaking to the orchestra before they start conducting the music. And you can listen to 2 tracks from the movie. They're called Her Path is Clear and Approach to Edu. So I watched this video and holy crap, is this music good. John Williams has a successor for sure. When he stops doing Star Wars movies, Giacchino can pick up right where he left off. Now, I'm not saying anyone could ever replace the great John Williams, because they couldn't. But I think John Williams knows that this guy can do it, and over time he's going to be good. And I'm so excited to hear the music from Rogue One. I'm so excited to see Rogue One. But please stop, like I said, stop giving me so much stuff. I don't need it. And I know why Lucasfilm and Disney are doing this, because it doesn't have the same build-up that The Force Awakens did. We didn't have such a long time in between Star Wars movies, so I get it. You want to make sure that the non-Star Wars nerds like me are still going to go see this movie. So you got to put it all over the TV, all over the news in the last couple of weeks and get it out there. But just replay the footage. Don't give me any more new stuff. Thank you. And our last story in Star Wars news today, with Rogue One's release imminent, the winds are turning the rumor mill and starting to change towards Star Wars Episode 8. Case in point, there's a new spoiler-free rumor about how Lucasfilm's approach to Supreme Leader Snoke will be different the second time around. From making Star Wars, for Star Wars Episode 8, it appears at least in part, that Snoke will not be a character generated in a computer. Instead, he will be a huge puppet around 7 to 8 feet tall, taking several people to operate, and a man inside the suit to make him walk. Stylistically, it seems as if Snoke may be CGI generated for the holographic communication sequences, but when he has scenes in Episode 8 next to real flesh and blood humans like Kylo Ren, he will be a practical puppet with facial features operated by the crew. We don't know exactly how much screen time Snoke has in Episode 8, and that makes it impossible to say he's almost always a puppet in the film or CGI, but we do know the puppet is pretty impressive and appears to be articulated in such a way it seems like more than an elaborate stand-in. So I have to tell you, this news makes me super excited again for episode 8. They're following in what J.J. Abrams did in The Force Awakens. They're making real life characters. They're doing Snoke real life, so it's going to be way cooler for the actors to act with a real life puppet and be able to do those scenes than it was for motion capture. Yeah, this is just incredible news. Star Wars just keeps bringing it, and I know we're all excited for episode 8. I mean, it's amazing. And this isn't one of my stories in Star Wars, but Collider Jedi Council and Christian Harloff, Mark Ellis, I think Tiffany Smith wasn't on the one that they just did. I can't remember who it was, but they did an amazing job of talking about the rumor that Rey may be a Kenobi. And there's a lot of little hints out there and different things. So if you want to watch what they had to say about that, go to Collider Video and check out Collider Jedi Council, the one that they just had this week. It was an amazing story. It's an amazing show they have over there. So please go over and check it out. And that's it for Star Wars news today. Now we're going to get into sci-fi news, and we got a lot of stories there too. So first story today is Marvel and James Gunn released the first trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, written and directed by James Gunn. The follow-up reunites Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, Rocket, and of course, Baby Groot, to battle a new threat while in search of Peter Quill's father. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 opens in theaters on May 5th, 2017. And holy crap, this trailer, I think it looks better than the first movie. And I loved the first movie. I think it was number 5 on my top 10 all-time superhero movies. And this trailer gets me so excited for Guardians of the Galaxy 2. There's some amazing scenes with Rocket and Baby Groot if you go on YouTube and you watch it. But Baby Groot, he says, don't press this button. Rocket's telling Baby Groot, don't press this button, don't press this button. And Baby Groot keeps going, press the button? And at one point he's like, oh, I'm going to put some tape over the button. Anybody got any tape? And then Baby Groot runs away with this button. It looks phenomenal. I think that this is going to be a huge hit. And Marvel has just proven once again, they can pretty much touch anything and turn it into gold. I don't think they've had a bad movie since Iron Man 2. They haven't had a bad superhero movie. And Iron Man 2 still wasn't that bad if you compare it to some of the other superhero movies that have come out, like some of the Spiderman movies, Fantastic Four movies. It was nowhere near as close to bad as those movies. So Marvel, thank you so much for being in the business of making movies now. Disney, thank you for letting Marvel do what it does, just like you're letting Lucasfilm do what they do. You don't get in the way of movies. Disney, please buy more franchises, because I want to see you guys let directors and writers and actors do their thing. And our next story is Warner Brothers and DC Films have finally set a release date for their standalone debut of Jason Momoa's Aquaman. Per deadline, the film is now set to open on October 5th, 2018, in both 3D and IMAX. The Conjuring and Furious 7 helmer, James Wan, will direct the film about the King of Atlantis, who will make his proper debut in 2017's Justice League, directed by Zack Snyder. Now, I wasn't that big on James Wan's Star Trek Beyond. I didn't think that it was a great film. I thought it was a great action film, but I didn't think that it was a Star Trek film with all the Star Trek stuff that you want to see in a Star Trek movie. And I don't know if I'm super excited about that he's the director for Aquaman, because I know him being the director, we're going to get tons of great action scenes, and we're going to get water coming in and fight scenes, and that's great. But for the first Aquaman standalone film, I want to see character development and story arcs, and I want to feel what he's going through. And I don't think James Wan does a great job of that. That's just my opinion. I know lots of people out there think he's a great director. I hope I'm wrong, but I didn't think that he did the greatest job with Star Trek Beyond, so I guess I'll just have to wait till 2018 to find out. And our next story is, at the recent Comic-Con Experience 2016 in Brazil, a short clip from John Watts' Spider-Man Homecoming debuted, and in it featured an upgrade to Spidey's suit that looks to now include the underarm web wings from the classic comics. The description of the footage, thanks to Omelette, shows Jon Favreau's Happy Hogan asking if Tom Holland's Peter Parker received a package from Tony Stark. The next scene shows Spider-Man on top of a building with the new upgraded wingsuit. Then, the first Spider-Man Homecoming trailer was featured this Thursday night on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. And it did not disappoint. It looks like Iron Man and Tony Stark are going to have a major role in this film mentoring Peter Parker. And they showed the wings for a very brief second in the trailer. But this trailer was fantastic for the most part. I love how much it looks like Iron Man's going to be in this movie. I hope he's in the movie as much as they showed in the trailer. And I like it looks like Tony Stark is mentoring him. We're also getting, there was a little clip of Aunt May, which I hope we get to see more of her because I love Marissa Tomei. But it looks like he wants to be an Avenger and he wants to go after some of the big bad guys, and Tony Stark's telling him, hey, take it easy, take it slow. You know what? You're still in high school. Start by getting some of the lower criminals. Let the Avengers handle the big criminals. And what this tells me is that Marvel is cementing the fact that Spider-Man is now in the Marvel Universe, and they want to make sure we all know about it, and it's not the old Sony Productions, which they did a great job in this trailer, so you can be excited about going to see the new Spider-Man movie and not worry about what's happened in the past. I am super excited because what he did in Captain America Civil War for the 15 minutes that he was in it was amazing. And the fact that they're reuniting Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. in this Spider-Man movie to get the first one kicked off, that's just fantastic casting. And our last story today in Sci-Fi News is we've already seen the Incredible Hulk spar with Thor and Iron Man, but how about seeing him fight Groot? That's the question of the year, and thanks to Vin Diesel, who plays the voice of Groot, we could actually see the two Marvel favorites square off in an upcoming movie. Diesel recently spoke to Screen Junkies at Brazil's Comic-Con, and not only did he tease a Groot versus Hulk, but he also had an idea for another interesting MCU standalone. Now, I'm not going to give you too much about this. You guys can go and check this out on YouTube. Just look up the Brazil Comic-Con. It's a great interview with Vin Diesel. I am really excited. I think Hulk fighting Groot would be one of the most epic fights ever. And to see that all come together, again, Marvel just knows how to make movies. They know what we want to see. They're anticipating 3 years ahead of what I think I want to see. And everything they're putting out, to me, is gold. So that's it for the Sci-Fi Movie Guy show this week. Please do me a favor and go down in the comment section below. Tell me what you thought of the stories today. Give me your ideas of what you think is going to happen in Rogue One, because I really want to know what your thoughts are. If you want, you can also send me an email and I'll read it out on the air. My email address is movieguySci-fi@gmail.com. You can also follow me on Twitter @movieguySci-fi. And just so you know, the next show that goes up will be next Thursday late after I see Rogue One. It's going to be our Rogue One non-spoilers review. I hope you'll join me for that. And remember, everybody, nerds rule the world.